is unreal. Wait. I mean, it's not unreal. Global warming is real. 99% of experts say that human activities have been causing global warming by emitting greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. These gases, as you already know, are from burning fossil fuels. And our hero, Elon Musk, has ambitious plan to accelerate the world transition to clean energy. In his case, it's solar energy. Basically to capture solar energy using solar panels and store in lithium battery for later use. But there is a huge downside to it that has not been well examined yet and has not been talked enough. That is, as we transition into solar energy era, how much pollution these solar panels, batteries, and electric cars will bring to our environment. And I have not seen him discussing about it. When Steve Jobs was giving commencement speech to Stanford graduates in 2007, many students protested and requested more responsibility from Apple in cleaning up electronic wastes. Anyway, that's not today's topic. We'll study how much pollution these electronic cars and batteries will bring to our environment. Back to today's topic, which is floating farms, forests, and cities. Of course, this carbon emission process is reversible. It's called carbon fixation. It's basically to plant more trees and plants that will perform photosynthesis. That is, carbon in the air, instead of bouncing around and trapping light and heat inside the atmosphere and heating up the earth as carbon dioxide, they become fixed part of plants or algae as a kind of sugar or other organic components and store energy via more than a dozen of chemical reactions happen during photosynthesis. That's why it's called carbon fixation. Until the plants or trees are burned and these carbons are released into air, again as carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide when not burned enough. And the more carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the air, the warmer our planet would be and the higher the sea level. I can't believe there are so many people who don't believe in this, even some prominent leaders. I highly respect these people graduated from a proper high school. Anyway, back to today's topic. So the idea of floating farms, forests, and cities is that we can build many floating platforms where we can grow plants and trees, and even houses where we can live. Not only can they function as tourist attraction when they are small and at the test phase, but also they serve as huge photosynthesis factory that suck up carbon dioxide in the air and store solar energy in these plants. Once those plants fully grown, we can harvest them and store underground. Why store underground? Because that's where fossil fuel is naturally stored, and we need Earth service for other human activities, and grow not around on the emptied floating platforms. This would at least bring a balancing force to the carbon emission from burning fossil fuel. If large enough, it can decrease the carbon dioxide level in the air. We hear California wildfire, Amazon rainforest wildfire, and Australian wildfire, and other wildfire that burn plants and trees and emit more carbon into the air. We can actually build these floating farms and forests with a system that can detect and put out fire automatically and immediately using seawater. You might say, why floating on water or sea, not on land? That's because almost 70% of Earth's surface is covered with water, and only less than 30% is land. And the land area will decrease as the global warming becomes more severe, as the sea level starts rising. Besides, the plants on the platform will grow on water, which is scarce on some land. There are at least 50% of Earth's water surface, I'm guessing here, where we can build floating farms and forests with reasonable density and distribution, and won't significantly affect ocean ecosystem or traffic. Besides, fixing our global warming issue, which Elon Musk's electric cars and those solar energy idea only slow down and can't fundamentally solve the problem. There are a number of other potential benefits it brings. First, this not only make our planet greener and richer, but might also decrease natural disasters like hurricanes and tsunamis as they build up, because these floating farms and forests would decrease wind speed as well as wave amplitude, working as barriers. Number two, it can possibly generate more food. Combined with what we already produce on land, we can save millions of people from hunger. Number three, it can also increase the world population that the Earth can support. Number four, they are natural and much more environmentally friendly compared with lithium batteries and solar panels, which are artificial, not natural to our environment. Number five, it will bring us more land area to live. People say that floating cities can solve current housing issue, but I don't think so. Current housing issues are not actually housing issues. They are transportation issues. If you are able to live 200 kilometers away from the city center, where you can buy 7,000 square feet detached house with 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and 2 garages, and are able to travel to the city center where you work within 10 minutes, you will realize that we actually have enough land for housing. This kind of super fast transportation is becoming more and more possible. Hyperloop is one of the solutions, thanks to Elon Musk. That's another topic we can save for the future videos. Tesla's idea of accelerating world transition to sustainable energy, like solar energy, like they said in their mission statement, is great. But we have been using solar energy since the first life on Earth. Of course, some life on Earth actually use chemical energy, like hydrogen sulfide. Nuclear energy is another story which was not available until 1940s. That means more than 99% biomass is generated using solar energy, directly or indirectly. Fossil fuels are from plants and animals that were dead millions of years ago. And all energy in fossil fuel is just solar energy, which is sustainable, that was stored millions of years ago by now dead animals and plants. So I'm not sure that this mission statement is accurate. But of course, they're doing amazing things, and I'm a big fan of them. Solar energy is widely considered sustainable, assuming that sun will burn another 5 billion years. But when it comes to capturing energy coming from sun and reaching the earth, Elon Musk's companies have decided to use solar panels and lithium batteries, which are artificial and pollutant to our environment, unless a cleanup standard is established. Of course, they sound fancy and look shiny, and investors like them. They did not choose the natural process that is photosynthesis, a process that has been on Earth since life on Earth, a process that is natural to our environment. You might say we run out of fossil fuel and cannot use batteries due to pollution. How are we going to run our cars and other machines? We cannot burn more trees. Well, there's another solution to that. That's to use synthesized petroleum from plants. I'm not saying that we should 100% rely on synthesized petroleum and completely get rid of batteries. That is not possible. However, an optimum combination of those will give us the best result that will extend the life of this planet. Of course, petroleum synthesis has to be improved, has to be economical to make it widely available. So do the lithium batteries and other potential batteries. Now you may say, does it make sense as a business? We can grow vegetables and fruits and sell them for profit. I won't talk about the details in today's video, but I think it's possible as a business. How about the engineering aspect? Is it possible? It became possible from engineering perspective long time ago. Ancient Mayan had developed floating garden around current-day Mexico City when it was still a large lake and utilized the water. With current technology, I think we can make them efficient and smart. We can make them go to a certain location themselves by using solar-powered propulsion and GPS, and come back to specified docking area along the coast, where automated hands and machine harvest the fruits and vegetables when fully grown. You might say, how about fossil fuel consumption? Will it decrease? Because this idea only works on carbon fixation side. It does not interfere with our fossil fuel consumption. But that said, I'm not a fossil fuel supporter. As long as what we are fixing from the air is more than or at least equal to what we are emitting into the air, I think we're good. So from this, you can tell that carbon is just like lithium. It helps us store solar energy, which we can use later. This BBC article is talking about floating city, but I think it's a bit too early to start a self-sustaining city floating on water. There's not much need for that except for tourism, because we still don't have mature technologies to run a floating city, for which running standards and initial capital requirements will be much higher than running a floating farm where you can grow tomato. I think floating farms should come before floating forests, which in turn come before floating houses, then floating towns and floating cities. The accumulation of technological and management expertise at one phase all make the following phase more possible, and public view will change along the way, and people will accept them easily in this gradual way, and it is economically viable. People would think that if a dozen of 1,000 square feet floating platforms in the southern Pacific Ocean can be used as places where we can grow tomato, then we can plant trees on them too. Plus, running a few 1,000 square feet platforms as farm space is doable if you have as much as $500,000. And then we can get public attention and get more funding for growth, while we can sell the harvested fruits and vegetables for profit. After a while, the more sophisticated ones come. Of course, there will be a lot of technical challenges, like what materials should we use for our platforms, and how much weight can they carry. I think we can learn a lot from our shipbuilding skills and expertise, like building large ships and aircraft carriers. If we put propulsion and GPS into them, we can relocate them and avoid hurricanes and bad weathers by using remote controls and even machine learning. Not your TV remote controls, but like an app on your phone or a software on your computer. If countries are bound by their borders on land, this is where countries can expand on water for dominance. But I advocate international multilateral agreements and laws if it really happens. A lot of people, when they apply for business schools, they say they want to do something impactful. This is one of them, and probably one of the most impactful, and it won't last very long. If I have enough resources, this is exactly how I'm going to change the world. Thanks for watching this. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. See you next time.